All right. What quadrant is this point? Forward, thank you. Right? So if I do my XY axis right here, okay, quadrant 4 is down here, right? What's this length? 1. What's this length? -1. Where's theta? At the origin. Good. That's our picture for that problem, right? The point, P, that's the point right there, 1, -1. But that's the picture of the triangle. Okay? You go right 1 and down 1, right? Correct?
Yes.
Okay? So that's the picture of the triangle. This was like the last 3 that a lot of you skipped. Okay? So wherever your point is, okay, you just draw a triangle. From the point to the origin is always the hypotenuse. Okay, we called it R yesterday. And then the X value is your X value of the point, and your Y value or your adjacent side is your X, your opposite side is your Y. Okay, you get those 2 numbers from the point. Do we understand the picture? Okay, again, theta is always back by the origin. And then we just do SOHCAHTOA. Okay? But before we do SOHCAHTOA, I got to figure out hypotenuse using Pythagorean, right? They call this R, right? So R equals, or R squared equals 1 squared plus -1 squared, which is what, 2? What is R then? Square root of 2, right? So if these are equal and that's the square root of 2, what is theta? We could actually know what theta is for this one. You're supposed to know. No. Yeah, 45, right? So it's a 45, 45, 90. But you don't really have to know that. But as far as for this problem, but you should recognize that it is a 45, 45, 90. Okay? Questions so far? Okay. So sine of theta is opposite -1 over hypotenuse radical 2. Or y over r is what they were telling you yesterday, right? Rationalize it. Make sense? Now, some of you that did do 19, 21, and 23 only found sine, cosine, and tangent. What did the directions of those actually say? All 6, right? And you're going to have to find all 6 on the quiz Friday. Now, what I do, since I have to find all 6, I do reciprocals right away. So the cosecant is the reciprocal of sine. So I just use this original fraction, radical 2 over -1. You just write it as negative radical 2, that's okay also. And then I do cosine, which is adjacent 1 over hypotenuse radical 2. And then rationalize it. So that's radical 2 over 2. And its reciprocal is secant. So that'd be radical 2 over 1. Just do that one. Don't do that one, then you got to rationalize again and reduce. Do the original fraction. And then the other 2 are tangent that? All right, so tangent is opposite -1 over adjacent +1. And then cotangent would be the reciprocal. So there's all 6. Questions? Okay. Just a quick review of reference angles. Okay. 290. What quadrant? 4, right? Remember, here's 90, there's 180, there's 270, and then over here's 360, right? So 290 will get you to there, right? So the reference angle is always between the hypotenuse or that terminal side, where I put that dot, and the x, right? So you go 360, since you're in the 4th quadrant, 360 minus 290, which is what, 70? For the reference angle. Reference angle is always acute, meaning less than 90, always positive, no matter what degree measure you're going, positive or negative degree measure. Remember that from yesterday? Did we have any issues with reference angles? Again, -195 would be -90, -180, so -195 is about there, right? So the reference angle is that one, between the hypotenuse or the terminal side and the x-axis. So how much farther past 180 did you go? You're at 195. How much past 180 is that? 15, right? That's the reference angle. Questions? Sammy, making sense? You weren't hearing me. Okay. Do we have any issues drawing the angles in standard position? We're all okay with that, aren't we? Remember, we start positive x, and then 210, so 90, 180, a little past 180, right? 210, right? Negative. We go this way, 90, not quite 180. So do your little arc, tell me which way you're going, or whoever's looking at it. Okay? Coterminal. Did you have any issues with coterminal? Those are those, huh? What would be coterminal? Let's just do 210. This is a quick review of coterminal. What do I do for coterminal? Right, add 360 and subtract. So what's that? 570. And what's that? Negative 150. Is that right? You were supposed to find a positive and a negative coterminal angle. You just add and subtract 360. Make sure you get a negative when they ask you. If you're over 360, you're going to have to subtract 360 a couple times to get to that negative area. Okay? That's basically everything we did yesterday. We okay with that stuff? All right. So, all right. So, number 3, you had to draw it, okay, for homework. So always start here. It was negative 135, so we go 90 and about halfway past it, right? So number 3 should look like that. Number 6, add 360 and subtract. Where's those answers? 435 and negative 285. Any questions? Why did I go to 6? I'm used to going by 3, so I should have did 5, right? How many times around did you have to go for 5? Was it 2 or 3 times? 2 times, and it was negative, wasn't it? So 1 time is 360. 2 times is 720, right? Then where does it stop? What was it, 1125? So what's 1125 minus 720? How much? 45? No. 11, wasn't it 1125? Minus 720. Oh, you did 11. So 3 times. It could go 3 times around. Okay.
They're gonna be like one of those in the state.
I hope so.
No.
So 3 times around is what? 1080? Is that what you had?
Yeah.
1080. So what's 1125? 1080. That's the 45, right? So 45 this to here, right? So that's negative 1125 degrees. So 3 times 360 got in there. Okay? All right, now we're at number 7. All right, so 7, oh, that's an easy one. What'd you get, Poser? I wanted to zone you back in. No, you weren't. Now you will be. 7. Yeah, right, that's the problem. What are the positive and negative coterminals? There's your positive, what'd you put? Yeah, 1080. Or if you subtracted 360 from 720, what'd you get? Come on. 360. So 1080 or 360. Okay. Where's your negative? Got to keep subtracting. So if we're at 360, we subtract 360, where do we get? 0. But is that negative? No, so I subtract 360 again, what do we get? Right, so negative 360 would be the negative one. 360 or 1080 would be the positive one, depending on how you did it. Number 9. How about Danny? Okay. They had 330 in the book, but 750 I'm sure is right. And negative 30. Good. Number 11. Mr. Colai. What's the reference angle for negative 250 degrees? 11.
11.
No. John? You have 110 also?
Plus 360. I got it with 110.
No, but that's not what we're doing. We're looking for the reference angle. Okay?
Negative.
Not a negative. It's always positive, Ron. But you're right. The number you're going to say.
70.
Yeah, 70 degrees. Okay? So it was negative 250, right? Negative 250, negative 90, negative 180, not quite negative 270, right? So how much is 250 past 180? 70 degrees. That's the reference angle. Questions? All right, Ian, what'd you get for number 13? Good, 20 is correct. Any questions on that? 15, Grant, did you get that one done?
Yeah, it's probably wrong. I don't even know what I did out there. Yeah. 310 degrees.
Gotta be less than 90. Scott, what'd you get? 50 degrees, good. That's correct.
Which one are we on?
That was number 15. Question, anybody? How about 17? Sydney?
We're at 220 and 580. No, wait, no, it's 580.
All right, again, they're not asking for coterminal, they're asking for reference. Okay, so 220, if I draw that, there's 90, 180, 220 is about there, right? How many degrees is it from 180 to 220? 40.
What's the difference between coterminal and
Coterminal is an angle that stops at the same spot. You know, the terminal side when you rotate it. So you just add or subtract 360. Reference angle is how many degrees it is between this terminal side. You know, here's the angle. What was it, 220? Between the terminal side and the x-axis. It's always going to be our point of reference, where we're always going to put theta on our pictures. Always backed by the origin. Okay? Some of us are getting that confused, all right? So let's make sure we understand it. Okay? You're supposed to be looking at your homework when we do this, so to see if you got it right or wrong. Not zoning out and thinking about something else, or on your phone or on your laptop, right? It's okay if you miss them. The reason we practice, that's what homework is, practice. Is if we miss it, we just figure out what we did wrong, right? And we fix that and we got it. Some of you waste this time. Again, I'm not doing it for my benefit. I understand how to do this stuff. I'm trying to help you. But if you're not seeing if you got it right or wrong, how can I help you? Does that make sense what I'm saying? Okay? All right. Number 19. Has 6 answers. It's like the warm-up, that first warm-up we did there. It's not the right spot. All right, section 13(2), right? All right, here we go. Number 19, the sine is the square root of 5, negative the square root of 5 over 5. The cosecant is negative the square root of 5. Cosine is 2 times the square root of 5 over 5. The secant is square root of 5 over 2. The tangent is negative 1/2. The cotangent is negative 2. 21, sine is negative 4/5. So cosecant is negative 5/4. Cosine is negative 3/5. So secant is negative 5/3. Tangent is 4/3. Cotangent is 3/4. And the last one, 23. Sine is 6 times the square root of 37 over 37. So the cosecant is the square root of 37 over 6. Cosine is the square root of 37 over 37. So the secant is the square root of 37. See you tomorrow. No homework.